Maya, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, in Foxes. Oh, you're going to be in my class soon then. That is so exciting. Oh, and I can see Violet is here, and Florence too. She used to be in my class as well. Good morning to you all. Brilliant. Amelie's here, and Thomas is here too. And I'm sure there's lots of children watching in the bubbles around the school too. Now, I'm here this morning in Mrs. Lewis's office. Lucky me, it's very plush. I feel very privileged to be in here. And if you don't know me, I'm Mr. MacInnes, but hopefully you do. You should do by now, hopefully. And I'm going to be reading you a story today. Good morning, Mia in Woodpeckers too. Ah, there's so many lovely children joining us this morning, and it's brilliant to see there's so many from my lovely Robins as well, who I'm looking forward very much to seeing next week. Oh, I've just seen Ruby has arrived as well, and so has Lilia. Brilliant. Well, this morning I have chosen one of my absolute favourite stories to read to you. And there's a couple of reasons why I've chosen this story, and I'll explain to you what those are. Now, first of all, I know that over the last couple of weeks in year two, the year two children at home and those who've been coming to the Golden Panda group have been thinking a lot about one of our Pashley values in particular, and that is this guy. Who's this guy? I'm sure you all know who this is by now. This is the equality elephant. And as I was saying, in year two, and I know in other year groups too, we've been thinking a lot about equality elephant lately, particularly thinking about things that have been going on around the world and how important it is here at Pashley Down that we treat everybody fairly and treat everybody with the respect that they deserve, regardless of what they look like. We all feel that that's really important at Pashley, and I know that lots of you watching, in fact, all of you watching, believe that it's really important that everyone should be treated with equality, equal, treated fairly, regardless of what they look like. And that is a big part of the story that I'm going to read today. And if you don't already know, today's story is Mr. Big. And some of you may have heard this story before. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, you're in for a treat, because it is one of my absolute favourite stories, partly because of that message about the equality elephant, and secondly, because it has got lots of great characters that you can do some great voices with when you read the story. I love doing the voices, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. So I'm going to be reading this today, and then afterwards I'm going to be setting you a challenge that's a little bit based around this story, and it's a bit of a noisy challenge. So I hope your parents, if you're at home, are ready for that, or your bubble leaders are ready for that, because it could be a bit of a noisy challenge. You'll find out in a bit. Let's see who else has joined us. Oh, I can see that. Oh, Golden Panda Group, EYFS Golden Panda Group are here. Hello to you. Hope you're all having a good day today. And I can see Eva from Moles is here. She sent me loads of emojis. Thank you for those. I like the butterfly ones. Who else have we got here? Freddie and Rabbits, hello to you. Oh, Anina and Badis is here. Badis is at school, and I guess Anina must be watching from home, so that's fantastic. Alberta and Cressida, good morning to you. Oh, hi to Sean, and hi to Alicia too, if you're watching. Ah, Xander is watching. I taught Xander in the Foxes class many years ago now. That's amazing. Oh, I'm so pleased you're watching. It's lovely that you're out there watching. Good morning to you, Xander. That is brilliant. And good morning from, oh, and Ethan Luck as well. Another one of my children that I taught quite a while ago. Oh, this is lovely. So many old faces coming back. Well, I'm really excited to have you with me. I've just realized I keep spinning on this chair. I apologize if it's noisy. I'm going to try and stop doing that. So, shall I get started? I'm going to read to you Mr. Big. This is Mr. Big. And as I was saying, the best thing about this book is some of the voices that you can do. So I'm going to try my best with that. This book is by Mr. Big by Ed Veer. Now you can see this monkey down here. He's got a really cool instrument. Only the coolest people can play this instrument. myself included. So yeah, the jazz instrument, the trumpet. You've got to do jazz voices for this book. So here we go. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine. He goes by the name of Big, Mr. Big. Now, Mr. Big had a small problem. Compared to everyone else, he was extremely big. So big. He was so big that anywhere he went, all everyone saw was someone big and scary. No one stuck around long enough to find out who he really was. So inside, Mr. Big felt very, very small. You can see, if you look closely, there's a squirrel peeking from behind the tree. He does not like the look of Mr. Big one bit. And on the other page, you can see these animals over here trying to scarper away from Mr. Big. Pretty sharpish. And that's how it always was. When Mr. Big went to the cafe, everyone else had other things to do. When Mr. Big got on the bus, everybody got off. You can see Mr. Big all alone on the bus there. This cat is desperately trying to get away, and I don't think this pig is too impressed to be sitting next to him. When he went to the pool, well, let's just say everyone needed to be somewhere else. No one ever saw the real Mr. Big. But one day, Mr. Big noticed a piano in a shop window. It looked all alone, just like him. So he bought it, and he took it home. And he's so strong, Mr. Big doesn't need piano movers to move his piano. No, he can lift it up the stairs himself. As Mr. Big sat alone at the piano, he thought of all the things that made him sad. And then he played. He thought of all the things that made him feel sad. And then he played. His music drifted out through the open window and into the evening sky. It drifted across the rooftops over to his neighbors, and they wondered who was playing such beautiful music. Hey man, that cat can really play. I like this Jazz Lion's haircut. It's getting pretty similar to mine. The old lack of haircuts has brought out the 1970s disco cut. The word spread, and night after night, everyone came from all over town. And still, no one knew who was playing. It was a big mystery. You look closely, you can see Mr. Big in his window playing his music, and the music drifting out. People are crowding the streets, wondering who is playing that awesome music. Nobody knows who's behind it, but they love it. And there's the Roxy Theatre, world famous. But inside, Mr. Big was still alone. I feel really sad for Mr. Big when I see this page. It's not his fault that he looks big and frightening. That's just the way he is. Nobody's actually stopped to take the time to get to know him. They take one look at him and they decided already what he must be like. which is really quite sad to think about, isn't it? And then one morning, Mr. Big received his first ever letter. And there's a banana skin there. I hope he doesn't trip on it when he goes to get his letter. If you look, the letter says on it, "The pianist," which is what you call somebody who plays the piano. Nobody knows who it is that's playing. It was an invitation, and it said, here we go, voice time. "Dear mystery pianist, thank you for your beautiful music. Everyone's been listening to you for weeks, and we're all wondering one thing. Who are you? We'd love to meet you. Me and a couple of the guys are playing tonight at the Blue Nose. Please come and join our band. See you later, a friend." That night, Mr. Big joined the band. All night long, the joint was jumping, and nobody wanted to leave. At last, everyone could see the real Mr. Big. And this is my favorite bit. Here we go. "Go, baby, go! Groovy, man. Oh, hot, man. Yeah, jazz, baby. Yeah, cool. He's cooking, daddy-o." That's all, folks. Let's hear it for Mr. Big. Woo! Yeah. They realized that that man playing the amazing piano all the time was Mr. Big. And now that the big band had hit the big time, everyone wants to meet them. And Mr. Big has a new problem. He doesn't get much time to be alone. And that's just the way he likes it. Now he's got thousands of fans queuing up to see him every single night. "Please, can you sign my book, Mr. Big?" "Groovy, baby, I'm your biggest fan." Is it really you?" "Oh, wow, can I have your autograph, please?" And look, the whole band is named after him now. Mr. Big and the Big Band. And there you go. Mr. Big is a new hero. Everyone is out in the streets to see him go. And this guy's saying, "Thank you, Mr. Big." And there's looks like I'm not sure if it's a mouse or a rat, but he looks like he's from the newspapers. He's trying to get an autograph or trying to get an interview with Mr. Big. And it says, "Mr. Big, we love you." And there's that pig, like her, wow. Oh, and this is a really good bit. I like the sheep. The sheep says, "Come back soon." And that's it. That's the end of Mr. Big's story. Although there are lots of other Ed Veer books, which are very cool. Some of you may have those too. And now we know, although he looked big and scary, a true friend can come in any shape or size. And Mr. Big was the coolest cat of them all. So yay for Mr. Big. I agree with the comments there. And that is one of my favourite stories. One, because you get to do those funny voices. I hope you like the funny voices. And two, because of the amazing message. And it's true that regardless of what anybody looks like, they have the right to be treated with respect and treated fairly. And if you remember back to the beginning of the story, Mr. Big wasn't being treated fairly. He wasn't given the equality elephant experience that everybody should be entitled to. And in fact, people took one look at him and they made a decision about him. They made a judgment. They were judging him based on how he looked. And it's really important that we remember the fact that as equality elephants here at Pashley Down, everybody is different. Everybody looks totally different. Nobody looks the same. Even those identical twins out there, like you, Finn and Oscar, you're not exactly the same. Nobody is exactly the same. Everyone is different. And we should always remember that everybody, regardless of what they look like, deserves to be treated fairly, and we should always try to be a kindness koala in all situations. And fortunately for Mr. Big, it ended happily for him once people got to know the real him. So I hope you enjoyed that story, and I hope you'll remember some of the message that it gives us. Now, I have got a bit of a challenge for you today. I hope you enjoyed the musical element of that story, Mr. Big joining the big band, because that's the angle that I'm going to go down with for our challenge today. But I'm just going to have a look at some of the comments first of all, see who's still with us. Oh, you like the voices? Brilliant. And some people enjoying the message. Miss Cox has enjoyed that one. I picked that one. I knew you liked that one, Miss Cox, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the accents, Mia. I've been practicing. Super. Well, today's challenge is this. Now, Mr. Big joined the big band, as we saw, and he got to play his musical instrument. His amazing talent that he had that nobody knew about was that he could play the piano like a real cool cat jazz musician. He had some incredible piano skills. I wonder if any of you have some amazing talents when it comes to music. So my challenge is this. Maybe you know how to play a musical instrument. Maybe you play one at home. Maybe you practice it at school. So what I would like to see is a video or a post or a photo of you performing with your musical instrument. So you could make a little video of you playing something, or you could set up a little photo of you performing to your family or your friends, and maybe post it on the post that I'm going to create after this video for you. So if you play an instrument, you could do that. Maybe you don't play an instrument. Lots of us don't. That's fine too, because you could, here's the challenge, see if you can create your own band with your family or your friends, just like Mr. Big and the big band. Perhaps you could create or design some instruments of your own, make them out of things you've got around the house or the bubble room. You could get together with some friends or your family members and play a little song for us that you could take a photo of a video of. Or you might want to do a little bit of air playing, guitar or whatever it might be, along to a song of your choice. You could find a song that you could mime along to and show us a video or show us a photo of you doing it. It's totally up to you how you do it, but what I want to see is you guys enjoying music in some way, bashing around, making a sound, or drumming along or air guitaring along to a favorite song. Enjoy music, because music is an experience that brings us all together, just like it brought Mr. Big and his friends together. And that's my challenge for you today. Can you create your own band? Can you perform your own song? Can you mime along to a song of your choice and share it with your friends on the Facebook post? I'll be looking out to see what you come up with, and I'll be eagerly anticipating your photos and videos. But for now, what I'm going to say is, have a lovely day. Shame about the weather. Fingers crossed it's going to improve. And hopefully I'll see you all very, very soon. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.